the brief this morning is a mandate handed down the House of Representatives Committee on Agriculture, Production and Services to carry out a comprehensive investigation into the introduction of genetically modified crops in Nigeria by the National Biosafety Management Agency. The committee is also to assess the potential health and environmental hazard or risk associated with genetically modified crops following a motion by Mr. Mukhtar Shagaya on the need to investigate the introduction of GMOs. Prior to that, the President, Bola Tinubu, has transmitted the anti-doping bill to the House, which he believes will prevent the country from sanctions in the world of sports, as read on the floor by the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu.
The enactment of this vital legislation will also help Nigeria avoid the imposition of signatory consequences, inclusive of loss of hosting and participating at regional, continental, and world championships or major athletic events.
Urge the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to cause the already introduced GM foods and crops in Nigeria to be properly labeled to safeguard consumers. 3, mandate the Committee on Agricultural Production and Services to A, conduct a comprehensive investigation into the introduction of genetically modified crops in Nigeria by the National Biosafety Management Agency. B, assess the potential health and environmental risks associated with genetically modified crops and report back to the House within 4 weeks.
Staying in the nation's capital, President Bola Tinubu has welcomed his Senegalese counterpart, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, to the State House, Abuja. The president was flanked by senior members of his cabinet who were on hand to receive the Senegalese leader to the nation's capital. The 44-year-old Faye, who has never held an elective office, was sworn in as the president of the West African country in April after a sweeping first-round victory. Is in Abuja on an official visit where they discussed about terrorism and fighting against human trafficking. What appears to further look like further bold moves to assert his authority in the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State. Governor Fubara has cautioned local government chairmen in the state to conduct themselves and avoid instigating trouble. Governor Fubara, who hinted on a possible next move, advised the council chairman to prepare to leave office in June when their tenure expires. The governor, who was speaking at the flag-off of Elele on Moku Road in the state, had earlier hosted members of the Joy Youth Council to maintain the peace despite provocation in the state.
Nobody is a monopoly or has monopoly of violence. I should be the one who will even come and shout that I will do this, I will do that. But I don't need to do that because both sides belong to me. So I'm advising those people who call themselves local government chairman. You have a few days in office. Please conduct yourself. Politics will come, politics will go. We will still live our lives. Let anybody not deceive you. If you deliberately hurt anybody in the course of maybe expressing your useless support, nobody will forgive you. You will pay for it. So I'm begging everyone, please conduct yourself.
Let's talk security, where the military has declared Halilu Buzo wanted for terrorism or terrorist activities, illegal arms supplies, illegal mining, and castle rustling. At the bi-weekly media briefing of the Defense Media Operations, the director, Major General Edward Buba, says Halilu Buzo, who is from Niger Republic but resides in Zamfara State, often escapes to Niger Republic after operating in Nigeria. General Buba says the military is working with his counterpart from the other country to ensure the arrest of the terrorists. I can tell you that the federal government has assured of a strategic roadmap that will ensure the completion of the digital switchover. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Idris, relayed the assurance when he received members of the Executive Council of the Independent Broadcasters Association of Nigeria. Mr. Idris explains that the President has directed the ministry to Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to look at the possibility of providing loans to media organizations at a single-digit interest. Another statesman and former Nigeria's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Dr. Christopher Collody, has weighed in on effective leadership for national and industrial transformation. In a select gathering of minds drawn from diverse sectors who converge on Lagos, Dr. Collody believes that leadership is critical and is well done when it is done by example.
This discussion is not leadership in the abstract. It's not leadership only as a concept. It is leadership as it relates to our practice, our experience. So if you look at the principles that I have put in this paper, I've put 7 principles. But there is one basic principle that I want to remind all of us of, and that is that the leader himself is a member of the team. If we practice leadership which separates the leader from the team, which makes the leader preside over some concept and everybody else is just doing his will, that is a wrong concept of leadership. And I use something we all know about. A football team. If I ask you who is the leader of the football team, you point to the captain. And the captain has responsibility to make sure that something happens. The team may say we want to win or we don't want to lose. So whatever the objective is, he is leading.
This holds true in what we do in Charles on a daily basis. Everybody is a member of the team. Everyone is very important. Everyone, whether he's a Muslim or a Christian, must always understand the fact that the work he does in Charles is not unto him, but unto God. What are we there to do when we find ourselves in leadership positions? We must be there for the common good. As long as we know that it's not about enriching ourselves, it's in fact, I dare say, inconveniencing yourself or pauperizing yourself, because you've got to make sure that the people are the focus of your leadership. Once we get that in Nigeria, the country will change.
And that was the chairman and CEO of Channels Media Group talking about leadership by example as well, that people are the center of every organization. Well, let's move on now to some needed clarification by the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun-Oba, reports that the federal government plans to illegally access 20 trillion naira pension and life insurance fund to develop infrastructure. The minister explains that the pension industry is highly regulated with strict limits on how funds can be invested. And according to him, the federal government has no intention of violating these regulations which are designed to protect workers' pension. Outside Asia, South Africa is asking the International Court of Justice to order Israel to stop its assault on Rafah, accusing Israel of genocide against Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. The South African country filed its case earlier in the year over Israel's war on Gaza, seeking additional emergency measures following its attack on Rafah. Over 1 million people have been displaced and thousands killed since the war against Hamas started in October after Hamas attacked southern Israel. We hope that war in southern Israel is going to, taper down at some point. Let's go now to the world of sports, where title hopefuls Manchester City will be without goalkeeper Edison on Sunday's concluding game of the Premiership season at home to West Ham United at the FA Cup final against Manchester United at Wembley on May the 25th. Edison was forced off with a facial injury during Manchester City's 2-0 win at Tottenham Hotspur on Tuesday that left Pep Guardiola's men on the brink of an unprecedented fourth successive English top-flight title. Scans have confirmed Edison suffered a small fracture to the right eye socket following a collision with Christian Romero. And those are the stories we've been tracking for in the last, 24 hours and early part of the day. Well,